France was worried that Germany would try to attack them, so Field Marshal Ferdinand Foch decided that the Rhine River should not be the border between Germany and France. France was left with much destruction. They figured it would be paid off by Germany, but when Germany could not pay it, the United States had to help. France was not really hit by the Great Depression until 1932. Unemployment was a big problem for France. Out of 40 million, fewer than 1/2 million were unemployed. Once they were unemployed, they would move out to the countryside with the peasants to live. The French government made the French dollar worth less, making their goods more expensive. This did not help France. Neither did the US dollar being worth less. Since the French goods were worth more, people did not want to buy them, so they bought goods from Germany and Great Britain because it was cheaper. So instead of France investing in themselves, they invested in other countries to try to make more money. Also, France did not increase production because they were in fear of inflation. The original anti-German alliance was formed by France, Britain, and Poland, the countries that linked themselves in a military defense pact in August of 1939. Also, Adolf Hitler's threats against Poland, which triggered the war. Franco-Polish alliance was signed in 1921 and then amended in 1927 and 1939. Anglo-French alliance had ended after France, but had been defeated as a result of German and Italian invasion during the Battle of France. Key leaders and figures during this time. Charles de Gaulle was a leader of the Free French and as such head of the French government, in exile following the fall of France, and eventually taking command of the French resistance and head of the French Army of Liberation. Marie-Pierre Quiong became commander-in-chief of the French forces of the interior, which effectively helped the Allies in the invasion of France.
In 1920, the Socialist Party split in two, and the majority broke away and formed the French Communist Party. In 1924, and again in 1932, the Socialists joined with the Radical Socialist Party. Léon Blum's government collapsed over economic policy, and also over the issue of the Spanish Civil War. Blum decided that he couldn't afford to support the Spanish Republicans, which led to huge defections among the French left wing, while Adolf Hitler and Benito Mussolini unashamedly armed and supported Francisco Franco's troops. France was at the center of the 1918 flu pandemic. France lost more than 400,000 people within that year. Germany, the United States, Britain, and France all had medical blackouts about how severe the disease was in their country, for they did not want to disclose information about the disease and the number of deaths to their enemies. During the Great Epidemic of 1918 through 1919, there was a great disagreement among French doctors and scientists about how exact means of how the influenza infection spread. The Munich Pact was created in 1938, with England and France agreeing to allow Hitler to keep the Sudetenland as long as no further expansion occurred. England and France declared war on Germany on September 30th, 1939. FDR desired to help France and Great Britain after they were attacked by Germany. In June 1940, France fell to Germany. This got the USA nervous, and the US began to build its military up. France could have avoided joining World War II by not getting involved because of their allies. Also, by not joining the alliance so fast because they were under a threat of Hitler. This action could have benefited the result surrendering to Germany.